What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to some World of Warships, where we are taking a look at a replay of a ranked battle submitted by Bane of Ulster, who is taking out his tier 6 Japanese battleship, the Fuso. Now, as I said, it is a ranked battle, so 7v7, limit of 2 battleships per team, 1 aircraft carrier, and as you can see, there are no aircraft carriers. On top of that, there are no destroyers, so there's 2 battleships and 5 cruisers on each team. So this really is like the perfect matchmaking for a battleship captain. No carriers to worry about, no pesky destroyers. So brilliant. And if you have a quick look at the opposing team, at the very top, you may notice, in fact, let's just bring that up. In the New Mexico on the enemy team is our friend Stuff Rules, who you may recognize his name. He's also submitted a few replays to my channel. Now, normally when I record commentary for these replays, I normally watch the replay before I actually start recording it, at least watch it through once. I haven't done that this time because I've spent all of my time over the last 4 days playing Armored Warfare, which is also why you're seeing a replay. I hadn't intended to show a replay today, but then I found out that Armored Warfare was doing a special event for Thanksgiving and Black Friday and all of that, and basically from Thursday until Sunday there was and there we have our first target, is the enemy Fuso at 23 kilometers. But basically for those 4 days it was basically triple experience, triple commander experience, triple crew experience, all this stuff. So that, had to make the most of that for some pretty serious grind. And it looks like he's about to take the lead and fire his first shots at this Fuso. He has launched his scout plane. He loses sight, but he's going to fire anyway. And there we can see Stuff Rules at 16.3 kilometers. And how are these shells doing? Looks like maybe just a little bit too much lead on the initial shots, but he does manage a single hit, but we don't know for how much damage. So yeah, I made the absolute most of this Armored Warfare special. Went from tier 3 to tier 6 in one of the armored fighting vehicle lines in like one night. I finished off my grind, and now Bane is going to take a stab at Stuff Rules. No, he's going to switch over to the Cleveland and taking the lead, 15 kilometers, going to sequentially fire his salvo, and let's see how those do. And basically I finished off my grind for 2 of the tier 6s, and fortunately some of those land a little bit high, but he did manage to get 4 hits for some damage. And yeah, I finished off my grind for 2 tier 7 tanks. I have them researched, but unfortunately the special was ×3 for experience gained, not for credits. So I'm in this position now where I've got several vehicles that are unlocked and ready, and I fire off the 2 rear turrets at the Cleveland, and I just do not have the money to buy them. But anyways, and he manages a single hit for 3,300. More shells going in, 4,000 on that hit, 3,000 on that hit. Unfortunately no citadels, and some of those shots looked like they were pretty damn close. And who's he going to take a stab at next? Looks like Stuff Rules has exposed his broadside a little bit. Is he going to take a shot at him? Just waiting for all the guns to reload. Lining up the shot. Stuff Rules is turning, so I think these might miss unless he straightens out. But let me tell you, I have seen the results screens for this match, and it is pretty epic, especially when you consider that this is a ranked battle, so there are only 7 enemies to shoot at, and to rack up this amount of damage with only 7 potential targets, it's pretty incredible. This is normally the kind of damage that you'd say is pretty damn good in a random battle where you've got, 12 enemies to shoot at. So he switched targets. He's now firing at the enemy Fuso, who is 19 kilometers away. The Fuso is firing at him. He is in the middle of a turn, so he should miss some of those and get his armor angled as well. And those shells are looking pretty good. Probably about total of 10,000 damage there, just trying to keep tabs of all the numbers popping up. And I've actually received a fair number of replays recently, including one from Stuff Rules, which is really, really good because I am going to be playing more Armored Warfare. I do have a couple more boosts activated, and on Tuesday, Just Cause 3 comes out. So guys, let me know if you want to, if you'd be interested in seeing some Just Cause 3 content. You know, not a lot, not a whole series, but maybe like one video of just screwing around and that sort of thing. And that Cleveland is very, very close to death. The enemy team is in the lead slightly with points. They obviously captured one of the control points a little bit earlier. He's fired his front two guns at the Fuso or the Cleveland. Not sure if the targeting system screwed up there, or who Bane of Ulster was actually shooting at. And he's going to fire off the rest of his guns at the Fuso, who is down to half health. Bane of Ulster's only lost 1,000 health, basically. So, 2 hits, not seeing how much damage was done. And Bane, Stuff Rules is sitting quite still there. And the collision alarm has gone off. Bane could be in trouble now, but looks like he slowed down enough and was able to miss those shells fired from our New Mexico friend. So he's going to fire whatever guns he has ready. 2 hits, also about 12,000 or so. Another 2 turrets are ready, so he's going to fire those off. He did pop a repair kit, which only gave him back a tiny bit of health, but it did restore him to full health. But he hadn't lost a whole lot, so I'm not sure if he accidentally triggered it or thought he had lost more health than he did. And now he is reversing out. Just waiting to see who we are going to spot first. And it is Stuff Rules, who would, in this situation, have the advantage. I think at 12 kilometers or so, the New Mexico is a bit more formidable than a Fuso is at these kind of ranges. But Bane's team has lost their New Mexico, while they did manage to sink a Cleveland on the enemy team. Firing some shots at that Murmansk. That was a fairly large hit. He's now lost about 7,000 damage. He's turning away and just trying to get all his guns turned around and pointed to the other side, where there is an Omaha at 14 kilometers. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Incoming shots from behind the island, so not sure what is shooting at him. And there's some torpedoes in the water, but they are friendly torpedoes. And just waiting for those guns to turn around. But yeah, just to talk about Just Cause 3 again, I've been watching some videos on it, you know, some of the bigger YouTube channels who received early access, and my word, that game looks like it is a serious bit of fun. So I'm very keen to try it. Just got to hope that my download is ready in time. Steam has allowed you to preload it, and there's some shots incoming from him in Murmansk, but he's unlikely to be able to hit that. They'll probably just hit the mountain. Shots from in front of him as well. Where's this Murmansk gonna go? But yeah, so I'm trying to preload it in time, but it's like a 36 gig download, and yeah, with my shitty internet, it's going to be a tall order to have it finished in time to play as soon as it unlocks. And Murmansk seems to just be sitting there, too smart to just steam around out of cover, because he knows at that range Fuso is probably going to have a fairly easy shot at him. So there's the Fuso and an Omaha, and of course they disappear as he tries to zero in on them. There goes some torpedoes in a wide spread. Not going to hit anything. Fuso's back. at 12 kilometers. He is turning, so Bane fires off a full salvo. Wonder how many of those are going to hit. None, unfortunately. RNG being a massive dickhead. They're more kind of splicing. Omaha has taken a torpedo that wiped out most of his health, and then I think he was probably finished off by the guns of that Furutaka, who is taking shots from behind. We can't see who or what is shooting at him. And now he's got a fairly decent shot at the Fuso. He's still a little bit too angled and immediately starts turning in. 2 hits for 241 damage. Fuso opens fire on the Furutaka, does minor damage. And now they're getting really seriously close. But it does mean he will have a flatter shot at him. He's getting all guns to bear. Fires off the 3 that are ready. 3 hits, 8,000 or so. Another 3,000. Unfortunately, there were no citadels there. Immediately turns into the Fuso to bounce any incoming shots. And torpedoes from behind from the Furutaka. Thankfully, they are going to miss Bane, but it's still never a sound you want to hear. Fires a salvo. Gets high caliber. Not even sure how much damage he did in that salvo, but strangely still, no citadels. Incoming shots from the Fuso. Done a fair bit of damage to Bane, but Bane has burned another one of his repair kits, and at the end of this will be back up to 43,000 health. And his guns are nearly reloaded, so he's going to fire that. 4,000, 3,000. 10 hits, manages to get the kill. So, this has given his team the advantage now. 1 battleship and 3 cruisers versus a battleship and 2 cruisers. And now got this Cleveland at 6.5 kilometers. He is turning away, giving a very small target. And here we have stuff rules. And this is not a sight you want to see in a New Mexico. I mean, in a Fuso, my apologies. Seeing a New Mexico at less than 10 kilometers. But the Cleveland is probably going to have to turn and flatten out. Manages to get a Citadel, do 13,000 damage with the Citadel plus all the other hits. Gets himself devastating strike. So now it is 2 versus 4. There's also a Königsberg, but he will be behind the mountain or island by the time Bane can fire. Stuff rules turning into him and closing the distance even further. Both players are keeping their armor rather well angled here, not wanting to give the opposing battleship an easy citadel hit. And there's the Königsberg at 4 kilometers. Is within torpedo range. Gets a citadel. And another 4 hits, does a fair amount of damage. Is going to fire off his other 2 turrets. Gets another citadel, finishes off the Königsberg. And now Stuff Rules had to maneuver to avoid the torpedoes. That has given Bane a fairly decent shot at him, but he doesn't have any guns reloaded. He takes a citadel hit from the New Mexico, who has lost one of his gun turrets. And now he's just going to fire them as his guns are ready. Manages to get the kill, and that is the end of the match. And as you can see, it was indeed a victory for Bane of Ulster and his team, earning himself 228,000 credits, 3,000 research, devastating strike, and high caliber. He got 71 target hits, 1 incapacitation, 3 kills, and 3 citadels, and completed effective shooting, key contribution to victory, and rank up. As for the team score, he came first place on his team by about 800 points. Furutaka was second. Stuff Rules on the enemy team came first for their team with 717. And as for the detailed results, 159,961 damage plus 1200 from first shell type secondaries, 2600 from second shell type. So over 160,000 damage from that game. And that reminds me of when I said, sometimes it doesn't look like you've done all that much. But in the end, it all just comes together and gives you a fairly impressive damage number at the end. But anyways, Bane of Ulster, thank you, sir, so much for sending in this replay. I enjoyed watching it, and I hope you guys did too. But yeah, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button down below and consider subscribing for more World of Warships, Armored Warfare, War Thunder, and a few other things that I throw into the mix from time to time. But yeah, that's it from me. Thank you very much for stopping by. This is Predator 458 signing off, and I will see you guys next time.